We are taking
They try to go ahead and stifle you. Look at Brian's case. They want to like say, hey Brian, how do I do this? They want to look at something I've done and say, hey Jim, how do you do this? Or somebody else, Chris Howard, out of Florida, had to do this as well. Hey, how do you do this? Google. Like I'm a dumbass. I'm uneducated when it comes to the law or anything else. I Google searched. I looked at the Constitution. I know my rights. I went to scholar.google, which is basically the law version of Google. Said, here's what I need to look up. Okay, so I looked up this case. Well, in every single Supreme Court case, they reference a previous case for precedence. So what you do is you find this case what you're looking for, you get a stack of, oh, okay, well here's 4 more cases that they went ahead and cited. Click on them. I mean, they're hyperlinked right there, so you don't have to like type back in. Click on it, and it takes you to the next one. You read the thing right there, what's going on with that. Oh, look, there's 4 more cases. So it's like really not that difficult to do. So people, if you don't want to go and say, I know my rights, I'm going to find out my rights, I know what this is going on, this is going on, if they don't want to do the work, you can't expect Superman to come in and save you. There's information at your fingertips, and if you choose not to go ahead and put the work in, it's not important enough for you to do it. If you expect somebody else to do it for you, nobody's going to fight harder for you or your kids or anything else than you are. Because they're your rights.
That's it.
And the thing is, with the attorneys, like I said, they can walk in literally to the family courts and they can say, here we go, Supreme Court case law, boom, here you go, here's rights, here's this, 50-50 share parenting time, period, done, over with, and they'd be done. Nope, because they're all in the bar. They're all in that little group. They want to keep you in the court system paying that money. They want to keep you having the attorney's fees, the court fees. They want to go ahead and have the Title IV funding stuff and everything else, so they keep you involved in it instead of going in and saying, here's my rights. Well, that's why so many people are now going pro se, or what I do is pro per. There's a difference, because pro se, when you go in as a pro se litigant, you are held to the same standards as an attorney, okay? Meaning you're basically representing yourself as an attorney would, but you're doing it yourself. You go in pro per, at that point you're representing just yourself as yourself. You're not held to the same standards as a lawyer. You're not held to the bar decisions or their little court rules. No, I'm me, Jim Crawford. That's it. I'm a guy. So here's my rights, here's what I'm doing, deal with them. But it's frustrating when you get people who just, they don't want to do their own work.
Yeah. I got a 27% tax rate. Better money than
No, I'm talking about the property itself.
All that's cool.
Well, yeah, that's true. This is the biggest thing.
I think we're running pretty close second. We're not a tie. It is a lot of fat. It's a lot of fat.
That's what social media.
protest the incarceration of John Rohrer at ABH. The last time I talked to John, the thing that he emphasized to me the most is that he didn't want anybody that was advocating to speak on his behalf or to say things he didn't want to say. So out of absolute due respect for that request, I'm going to give you the words of John right out of his mouth. Pre-November of 2014, while he was still being force drugged, John says, "I'm a real human being, endowed by my Creator with free will. And I had the intellectual capacity to participate in treatment decisions. Receiving permission to hurt someone does not make it in any way ethical to do so. My perspective is valid, my objections are sound, and this institution is rationalizing torture." That was done while he was still being forcibly medicated. It took a motion to be filed and honored by the Ohio Supreme Court on July 17th of 2015, 8 months after force drugging stopped. John writes, "Freedom's more than just a word to feel patriotic about. It's something very basic, which most of us take for granted, which we suffer in our hearts when we don't have it. But a human being's soul should be respected, and force drugging should be respected. And in force drugging, you can start by opposing the Murphy Bill." The Murphy Bill was a bill that was implemented by Congressman Murphy out of the 18th District of Pennsylvania. It was designed to implement more and more assist outpatient treatment, which is really nothing but forced drugging, forced treatment against people's wills that supposedly are labeled with mental health disorders. So I don't want to put any words in John's mouth. We're just here to show our love and support for him today as he continues to be held hostage and incarcerated at Athens Behavioral Health for years. And I don't have those things happen anymore. Then what changed? Obviously, the doctors weren't right. So what they learned in medical school wasn't right. What they learned in medical school is to pathologize people, put labels on people, and then tell people that they're going to be on medication for the rest of their life. Why? Because that fits in here. Big Pharma. Now, how do you advocate against that methodology when the guys in Washington have their money invested in what? All the pharmaceutical companies. So are the guys in Washington giving up their Bentley Benz and their $1.8 million homes to curtail and make sure that people aren't violated that way? No. Because the love of money is the root of what? All kinds of evil. Even Big Pharma evil. That's just the short version. There's a whole lot of other things in it. It's not my first rodeo. I've seen a lot of things.
Say, my name's Brian Kenter. I'm down here from Springfield, Ohio, with the JAM, the Judicial Accountability Movement, because we believe that's where it needs to start. We need to start holding our judges accountable for the decisions in which they arbitrarily make an elected choice to make. That they have to provide us with the facts and the evidence to substantiate how they arrived at the conclusions in which they reached. We believe that there is supporting documentation and evidence that one could draw the conclusion that the state of Ohio judicial system is ran more as a criminal racketeering organization rather than as halls of justice. Totally irrelevant to what Brian Kenter says. What is relevant is what does the record and the evidence reveal. And when you have the facts and the evidence in such a case as John Rohrer's case, it clearly supports the contentions of those that stand in direct opposition to what the judges are stating. Now, I think that we've got a problem in the United States of America. So it's our good faith opinion, our belief that we have to unite as one voice for one cause, and that is to demand accountability of and from the judiciary. All I got.
Okay.